Welcome to this new section on defining your target audience. In this section, we're going to cover who your audience is, what are their pain points, where they live online, and developing a customer persona, which is going to help you create better content for them. And I know you might be like, Phil, this seems so basic. I want to get into the good stuff. Well, truthfully, this is some of the good stuff. By going through these exercises and really understanding who you are as a business, which was the last section, and who you are targeting, which is this section, you are going to do so much better as a content marketer. So who are you marketing to? If you're a business already, you might have an idea. If you are just starting out, then you might also have an idea, but maybe it's not as much of a good one. Either way, it's a good idea to look right now and decide who you're targeting. And I don't want you to tell me that you're trying to market to everyone. If you try to market to everyone, your voice and the way you market actually becomes a little bit too blurred. It doesn't work as well as if you niche down, you pick a more focused target audience, and you really focus on creating content for that specific type of person. And I promise that if you focus down onto a smaller group of people, then you're going to grow faster as a business or brand. This really means looking at demographics. So the age of your customer, the gender, the location, their education level, perhaps their income level, and most likely their interests. Now for those first categories, age, gender, location, education, income, you might be able to create a product and create content that spans across many ages, many genders, many locations. It'll be easier for you to pick specific interests in terms of a demographic. But as you go on with more analytics, like for example, I look at my YouTube analytics, my Google analytics to see who's actually watching my videos, who's actually going to my website. And I've found things like most of my audience are men. Most of my audience are between the age of 24 and 35. Most of my audience lives in the United States or in English-speaking countries. And so that makes sense because my content I'm delivering in English. And then, of course, with their interests, most of my audience are interested in video production or photography. So look at these things when you start to figure out who your target audience is. If you don't have analytics, just plug in some information on people you would like to target. So a case study for Photography and Friends is to target people who are 24 to 40 years old, both male and female. I don't think I have to differentiate between genders. English speakers primarily right now. I will potentially in the future start to translate my content with a higher education and disposable income. And their interests are photography, of course. That's what they're interested in. Now, this doesn't mean that someone who does not have disposable income, who hasn't gone to college, is not going to be interested in my content. And it doesn't mean I don't want them to be interested in my content or my community. But what this means is when I'm creating content, a video, for example, maybe I am speaking in a way that makes more sense and is easier to watch for a 24 to 40-year-old than a 65-year-old. So maybe I am speaking a little bit quicker. Maybe I'm talking about more modern technology than what I would do if I was trying to teach someone who was 70 years old, teaching them a brand new style of photography, for example. Now with disposable income, why that's important for me to understand here and have written out here is because when I create content, I am going to be referring to equipment and things that cost more money. Again, while as a brand, we believe anyone can take great photos with any type of camera, to really dive into photography, you might need some disposable income. So our content isn't going to be necessarily the DIY cheap way to do things or the free way to do things. We might not be using the free applications to edit our photos. We might be using the professional, more expensive options. And so by understanding and doing this case study of who my target audience is, I can think, okay, when I create a tutorial, what application am I going to be using? Am I going to be using the free one or the paid one? I'm going to be using the paid one because that's the one that I want to use, and that's the type of audience that I want to target. In general, targeting an audience with disposable income can be better because they're more likely to buy your product or service as well. So if you are only targeting people who are doing free or cheap DIY methods of things, that might be a little bit harder for your business or brand, unfortunately. So that's just one tip that I wanted to throw out there as well. So like always, right now I want you to pause, go back to the demographics page slide, and start to write out some of those main demographics for who you think your ideal customer is. This is going to help in a future lesson when we develop our customer personas. So it's important for you to do that right now.